today we have Ginger Southard, the Syringe Services Program Supervisor, joining the show. Welcome to the show, Ginger.
Thank you very much.
So you came today to give us kind of an update on the syringe program and so the services that you're offering Republic. What's going on today?
Okay, so the program opened in February of this year, and we've been very busy. We've got over 350 people enrolled in the program.
Okay.
The enrollment process just includes getting some initials and a number, and then we put an E or an N after it for the enrollment status.
Okay.
And once we get that information, we give them this little card to carry that proves that they're enrolled in the program.
Okay.
Okay. And this is a part of the limited immunity law, which if they were to get searched, if they have a card and they declare what they have, they're not supposed to get a paraphernalia charge. This is not a get out of jail free card.
Okay.
If they get caught with a large amount of drugs or any evidence of manufacturing or anything like that, they're going to get charged with everything.
Right. Okay, so this doesn't excuse you from breaking the law. This
It
is
does
just
not, no.
to get you through for the syringe program.
Correct.
Let's talk about harm reduction. What's the purpose of this program? What does it do?
So harm reduction is just a generic term. It encompasses a lot of things. A seatbelt, using a seatbelt, getting vaccines, all kinds of stuff. Syringe services programs are designed to prevent the spread of diseases that can be easily spread by injection drug use.
Gotcha.
Our biggest concern right now is hepatitis C.
Okay.
We have an epidemic here within our boundary and within our population. We've got over 400 infectious cases right now, which means that if any of those people are injection drug users, which usually the majority of that population is, and they share with just one person, you could easily double that, triple that, and it could spread. So what we do is we take used syringes and we supply clean, sterile syringes, and we supply the equipment that you would use to inject with. Hepatitis C can live for up to 4 weeks depending on the environment it's in. So if it's inside a syringe, even though somebody may not have used that syringe for a while, if they just find it, they could still spread hepatitis C or contract it themselves.
Okay.
It can live in the cookers that people use to mix their drug in, to heat it up. It can live on tourniquets, anything.
Wow.
So we give out a bunch of supplies.
Let's talk about that. What is a typical exchange process like? What can folks that come through the program expect to see or feel?
So when they first come in, they're going to register, and that's going to give them their card.
Okay.
They're going to get asked some questions. We ask their age that right now, and we ask the age that any drug use started, and that includes alcohol and marijuana use. And that's really to see what age we need to start intervention programs at.
Okay.
After that form is complete, every time they come in, there'll be a transaction log filled out. We will take in we guess how many syringes they bring in, or they tell us if they know. We don't ever hand count.
Okay.
And then we give them an amount of syringes based on the times of day that they use, how many injections they do a day, and when they'll be back to see us.
Okay.
The maximum amount they can get at one time is 50 syringes.
Okay.
Okay. We encourage everybody to bring back as many as they use. Some people don't, but for the past couple of weeks, our return rate has been unbelievable. It was 99% last week, and it was 100.2 the week before, which means we actually got back more than we gave out.
Wow, that's incredible
Yes.
information to put out there to the
Yes,
community.
we're very excited.
That's amazing, and that's great. That's really shown something working in the community, not just the on our side, on the government side, but the end user is actually
Yes.
bought into that as well and
Yep.
participate. That's perfect.
Yep.
I don't know how you can do it any better. Okay, and so the idea being, though, with the syringe exchanges and harm reduction is that we don't want folks using the same syringe
Correct.
multiple times. It
Correct.
should be used one time and disposed of properly, and then or exchanged for a clean one.
Yes.
What else is in the kit that you offer when folks come to see you?
They get cotton filters.
Okay.
Hep C can also live in the filter that they use.
Okay.
So we tell them to use these they're tiny little pellets. You take one, you use it, and you throw it away.
Okay.
Sometimes people will use cigarette filters if they don't have these,
Okay.
which can damage the vein even more. So
Okay.
there's probably about 20 in each bag of these. They get portable or disposable hand sanitizer.
Okay.
This is antibacterial ointment. They're educated on wound care before and after injection. So before injection, we tell them to take alcohol swabs or
Okay.
pads, clean the site, throw it away, get another one and clean it, and then inject. And then afterwards, they need to use the Neosporin to cover and a Band-Aid, which we give out the Band-Aids.
I gotcha.
We give out condoms.
Okay.
We also give out little cookers to heat the drug in. And these paper clips are used to make kind of a handle so people don't get burned. So you just kind of stick it on there and heat it without
Okay.
burning yourself. We also have sterile water that's used to mix the drug. If people don't have access to clean water, a lot of times they'll use mud puddles or
Oh,
whatever
wow.
they can
Okay.
find, and that can cause a lot of infection and other stuff.
Okay.
We give out tourniquets to tie off the arm with. And also, there's education put in every bag about cleaning out a syringe properly if you don't have access to a
Okay.
new syringe. This one is on Narcan.
Okay.
This one is on the signs and symptoms of an abscess or an infected injection site.
Okay.
This is on symptoms of HIV.
Okay.
And then this is on the symptoms of hepatitis C.
Gotcha.
The Narcan kits that we use come from the North Carolina Harm Reduction Coalition.
Okay.
So they are injectable.
Okay.
So in a kit, you're going to get 2 syringes, and you'll get 2 doses of Narcan.
Okay.
We can give this to people that are EBCI enrolled and non-enrolled. We do see people that are non-enrolled because if they're coming with somebody who is enrolled, they could be
Right.
sharing and still spreading disease that
Okay.
way. If anybody wants a nasal the nasal Narcan, they can get that from the hospital if they're
Okay.
enrolled, free of charge.
Okay.
If they are non-enrolled, they have to go to a pharmacy. It's about $300.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all we do is teach people to draw this up. You inject it in a large muscle, like the leg. You can do it in the glute, the butt, and the back.
Okay.
A lot of our participants don't have large arm muscles, so it's better to do it in the lower body.
Right.
Also, after this is given, this is temporary. It's only going to block the receptor of the opioid to the brain receptor temporarily.
Okay. So if somebody's in a heavy use or overdose pattern,
Yes.
they'll come back,
Yes.
but you need to get them to a hospital.
Yes.
Because as soon as that wears off, they're gonna the symptoms will fall back in. Overdose
Absolutely.
again.
Absolutely. So
Okay.
EMS needs to be called if this is
Everybody
administered.
needs to be,
We've
alerted.
had 193 reversals reported since we started dispensing this in
Wow.
April.
Wow.
And in that bag, you'll also get the Good Samaritan Law and a copy of instructions on how to use it, the Narcan.
Okay.
And that's pretty
That's
much
a kit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what do you say to the public? You know, if there's someone out there that's just critical of the program that doesn't understand quite what this is about, what are some of the misconceptions?
Well, I think a lot of people think that the goal of the program is to get people into recovery. And when you go out and you're educating about the program and they ask how many people have gone into treatment, first of all, it's an anonymous program and we don't know.
Okay.
We don't know what they're doing. We have referred people to Anna Lanischke, we've referred people to Detox, but as far as following those, we don't have any way to do that. What I would like for people to know is that is a benefit to the program. People that use syringe exchanges are 5 times more likely to go into recovery and stay in recovery,
Okay.
but it's not necessarily the goal. The goal is to protect the community
Correct.
and the user from the spread of disease.
Right.
Because hepatitis C can live on a surface. So if you have somebody in and out of your home that's using, you can spread it with toothbrushes, razors, anything like that.
I think you're right.
So it's really to protect everybody.
It seems on the surface it's counterintuitive to be
Yeah.
handing out, teaching people how to use syringes, teaching people how to, and it almost seems enabling.
Mm-hmm.
But by the same token, on the other side, this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
We're not stopping this by not doing this program.
Correct.
What we can do is prevent potentially somebody in the community or from the user themselves from hurting themselves or
Mm-hmm. Correct.
from hurting someone else by disposing of a needle in a restroom or in a playground or somewhere
Correct.
else. And so that's good. I think there's value in that. Every life we save with the Narcan is of value. You know, because regardless of how you feel about this personally, we're not here to. Nobody. We don't want anybody to lose their life to this epidemic.
Right.
And so everybody we can save or reduce the harm from is
That's-
invaluable. I don't know how you put a dollar tag on that, but in my mind, if it's your brother, sister, cousin, nephew, uncle,
Exactly.
aunt, grandma, grandpa, if we've saved them, that's valuable, and we've
Yes.
got to account for that.
And everybody here is impacted.
Yeah,
Everybody you talk
absolutely.
to. So
Absolutely.
it really affects a lot of people.
Okay. Now, recently there was discussion of syringe kiosks. Can you give me kind of an update on that program? What's happening there?
So the syringe kiosks are going to look like those blue boxes you drop a letter in at the post office
Okay.
to mail out. And what they are for is for people to put used syringes in instead of dropping them on the ground or throwing them in the river.
Okay.
There's 20 of them that have been ordered. They will be put in every community and then in high traffic areas along the boundary or in other areas that people
Okay.
have reported. They will not be at any community buildings or any gyms.
Okay.
There are going to be some out in common areas, like at some of the Welcome Center, visitor centers.
Okay.
But each community is going to have input as to where it goes in their community
good.
because they know those areas best.
Yeah, and you want to kind of drive that somewhere where it's anonymous,
Right.
somewhere where it's away from kids and family activity, but to make it accessible.
Right.
So
and
that's
it's for
good.
anybody. If you
Okay.
if you're diabetic and you need
Right.
to use your syringe, throw them in there.
Okay.
Our program will be in charge of collecting them and maintaining those until they get a contract with someone else.
Okay.
So we will be the people in charge of it.
Okay.
And I think that it will help a lot. I hope that it will help a lot.
Well, let me ask you a question. Speaking to that, how do we know if it's helped? Do we have statistics that are starting to come out that we're tracking
For the kiosk use,
for all of this, the harm reduction pieces?
we are tracking the rates of Hep C to
Okay.
see if they've gone up or down since the program started.
Okay.
We do keep track of our return rate and the disease rate, really.
Okay.
Because
So I
it's
think that's
not
the first
just-
indicator is your return rate. In a year from now or 2 years from now, would we be able to look at this and say, okay, this was a success. It's reduced
Right.
hepatitis C infections by this many, or
Correct.
it's reduced self-harm by this much infection, whatever that is. I think we need to come back together within the year and let's start to look at those statistics, start
Oh,
to
yeah.
share with the community the results of this. And you'll know quickly whether or not this is something that, I can't help but think when you're getting 100% return
Yeah.
rate on this, that it's not helping in some capacity.
Yeah.
Again, it's just counterintuitive, and I think our culture has
know.
to adjust to that. I think our people, hopefully the community can understand, and if they have questions, reach out to you,
Yes.
your organization, to ask those
Yes.
questions. But I know on the surface, it just seems counterintuitive. Why
Yes.
are we handing out syringes? Aren't we enabled? We're teaching them how to use burner. But again, if it saves one life, one person from getting pinpricked by a used needle out there, I think it's valuable. We just have to make sure that the parameters are there to keep it also safe and balanced on the public side to make
Yes.
sure that we're
If there's any, we will come talk to anybody, a church group,
Okay.
a community group, and it doesn't matter what time.
yeah.
Our hours are not the 7:45 to 4:30, so just call
Yeah.
us, and we will absolutely come
I think
out.
it's key too, as you mentioned earlier, to start to get that data on ages when folks are starting to be exposed to this, and how can we educate?
Yes.
And how can we get ahead of this so the harm piece of the education is
Yes,
up front and you
yes,
know
yes.
exactly how to be safe if you're going to do this. Because as we mentioned before, and I think the whole community can agree to this, it's not going away. I mean, you can't eradicate it.
No.
We can put some dents in it and we can put safety parameters in it to make it a better environment for everybody that is a part of this, and we are all a part of this. So that's good to know
correct.
that you guys are doing that. Was there anything else you'd like to say before we get closed out today?
No, just call us. The number's 359-6879. And my name is Ginger. You can speak to any of us, and if anybody has any questions.
Okay. And where is the syringe location, the exchange location?
It is in the little yellow house above the beloved women's building.
Beloved. Careful. The beloved women's building
Yes.
up on the hill, the little yellow building.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
perfect. Well, that's it. Thanks for joining us today, Ginger. It sounds like you've got a good plan in place to help reduce harm in the community, and I'm excited to see how that grows and to see some numbers and some results on that.
Thank you.
That'll be it for today. If you're listening at home and would like to comment on the show or what we've discussed today, please comment on our EVCI Cherokee Now Facebook page at facebook.com/Cherokee Now. We'll see you again soon. David Doggett, thank you.